Good evening. Roughly 3 years ago, the Bush administration received a first-hand account from one of its own Justice Department officials who volunteered to let himself be waterboarded that it was indeed torture. And they promptly fired him. Our fifth story on the countdown. Despite the ABC News report tonight about former Acting Assistant Attorney General Daniel Levin's ultimate litmus test and the Bush administration's suppression of it, it appears the nominee for Attorney General, who will not concur with nor dispute Mr. Levin's conclusion that waterboarding is torture, will himself be recommended for approval by the Senate Judiciary Committee. The Levin story first. As acting AG in the Office of Legal Counsel, he was the Justice Department's man in charge of determining which of the so-called enhanced interrogation techniques could be used legally. ABC quoted unidentified sources saying in 2004, Levin volunteered to find out for himself. He went to a military base outside of Washington and was waterboarded. As characterized in the report, Levin said, though he knew he would not die, the experience was so terrifying that waterboarding was clearly torture. That only under the strictest of supervision and in a, quote, highly limited way could waterboarding even possibly be legally used. Yet the administration, he noted, had failed to issue any guidelines about it, about maximum time of use or the presence of medical personnel during use. Levin, ABC reports, was formulating a memo outlining that waterboarding was legally torture when Alberto Gonzales became the Attorney General of the United States. Sensing Levin was, quote, too independent and, quote, not someone who could be counted on, Levin was forced out of his Justice Department post. Levin would say for the record only that it would be inappropriate for him to make any comment on ABC's report, but what he learned and what he tried to say and what happened to him when he tried to say it dovetails with infuriating irony into news that two Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee today announced they will break ranks with their own chairman and join Republicans in making Michael Mukasey, a man who says he's not sure whether waterboarding is torture, the top lawman in this country. That all happened within the span of just a couple of hours this afternoon. First, Judiciary Chair Pat Leahy became the fifth Democrat on the committee, joining Senators Biden, Kennedy, Durbin, and Whitehouse to oppose Mukasey's nomination, which is set for committee vote next Tuesday.
Judge Mukasey was not asked to evaluate any secret facts and circumstances. He was asked a very clear question: is waterboarding illegal? American law makes torture illegal, and waterboarding is torture, and under American law it is illegal. It is frankly not dependent on any, to use his quote, relevant facts and circumstances of the techniques past or proposed use. That might be a lawyer-like argument, but it's not accurate, and it doesn't reflect what is America.
Not an hour and a half later, California's Dianne Feinstein became the first committee Democrat to announce support for Mukasey. Approximately 1 minute later, Chuck Schumer of New York followed suit. Schumer closely watched in this drama after suggesting Mukasey, a fellow New Yorker, to President Bush, only to have Mukasey, in both his verbal and written replies, raise serious questions among Democrats and even some Republicans about his positions on the power of the presidency and even civil rights 101 softballs, such as whether waterboarding constitutes torture.